Good from the sports desk. The UEFA Champions League resumes tonight after a 4-month suspension due to the COVID-19 outbreak. As you can see, we've got our expert producer Sandile Mchunu with us. He's going to break down some of the permutations that we're going to be looking at for the kickoff of those matches. Firstly, Sandile, let's begin with where we are as far as tonight's fixtures are concerned.
Well, Jeff, where we were is that right now, in fact, where we are right now, yeah. So the games were postponed, suspended for 4 months, on the 11th of March due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So we all know that's the main reason why we are where we are right now, because on a normal day, on an ordinary season, the UEFA Champions League would have been done and dusted now because we are in August. They would have been preparing for the upcoming season, the new season there is. But now, teams like Atalanta, they progressed, they beat Valencia. They are the team that I would like to focus on because they did very, very well. Nobody knew about Atalanta prior to this season's UEFA Champions League. They qualified ahead of, recognized sides like AC Milan, for instance, in Italy. But now they did very well. They beat Valencia by 4 goals to 3 away from home, 8-3 on aggregate. I mean, that's huge. It speaks volumes in terms of the aggregate score. They have quite a number of talented players, Ilicic, who scored 4 goals on that night of the 11th. And also they have players like Papu Gomez and as well as Luis Muriel, who is an impact player coming from the bench. And also RB Leipzig is also another team that has done very, very well this season, as you can see on our graphic. Leipzig, this is only their second appearance in the competition, and for Atalanta, they are the debutants. So these are the 2 teams that I wanted to focus on, not the PSG, because we all know about PSG, not the likes of Atletico Madrid, because they played finals in 2 years. They were in 2 finals, in fact 3 years, that is 2014 and 2016. So all attention is with Atalanta, who are free scoring, and also RB Leipzig. They are going to test themselves in terms of seeing what they are going to do in the round of 8, which is the last 8 that is resuming next week.
Very attractive brand of football that these 2 teams have produced the whole of the season that you've touched on. Just quickly remind us the teams that will be in action tonight. There's some big heads on the chopping block tonight.
Well, our next page focuses on those teams. I mean, tonight, Manchester City, they did the job. Pep Guardiola is a master tactician in the first leg at the Santiago Bernabeu. But now, tonight, they need to make sure that they are sound and solid at the back, because they've been leaking goals of late. Yes, they did well towards the end of the Premier League season. Liverpool wrestled the league away from the Etihad Stadium. So now it's all to play for them, because they wanted quadruple. They wanted to win 4 trophies. Once upon a time, it was looking as if they were going to win 4 trophies, but they have won only the League Cup. So they need to concentrate, because if ever there's one team that can upset the apple cart, it's Real Madrid, record champions. So they cannot be taken lightly. They can cause an upset away from home. They lost 2-1 at home, but it's going to be a mountain to climb for Real Madrid, because they will be without Sergio Ramos. And Juventus, I mean, yes, they are champions in Italy, but they are not firing from all cylinders, let's be honest about it. But they are playing Lyon, a Lyon side that hasn't seen much action, except last week they played in the French League Cup final against PSG, a game they lost on penalties. And for Barcelona, it's all to play for them. They've been off-color this season. They are up against a Napoli side, which is a bit unpredictable under Gennaro Gattuso. So it's very, very interesting. As for Chelsea, I mean, the less said, the better for them and their fans, because I don't see them overturning the 3-goal deficit that they suffered away from home when, in fact, at home at Stamford Bridge in the first leg. And they have a whole host of players who are out with injuries. Pulisic is one of the key players, and without him, I don't see them overturning the 3-0 deficit.
Before we go into the next page, just quickly, let's just pause on the Man City-Real Madrid game. There's been all sorts of reports about unhappiness regarding Gareth Bale. Real Madrid's point of view, this season Manchester City have lost and have conceded way more goals than they've ever done the last couple of seasons. So that for me is a fascinating tussle that lies ahead. Although they have the advantage going into this, Man City do, the defensive record this season is still very questionable. And as you mentioned that Real Madrid, I'm just curious to get your opinion on what's the immediate future for Real Madrid and Gareth Bale.
Gareth Bale, I don't see him at Real Madrid next season, Jeff. I mean, there was that deal that fell through. He was supposed to go to a team in China at the beginning of the season, and he didn't. He's not one of Zidane's favorite players, so he's not going to see much action. He cannot stay. I don't see him staying at Real Madrid beyond this current season. So he's not going to see action tonight. I mean, it's an open secret. Vinicius Jr. is going to be playing, or Rodrigo. I mean, those are the players, and Eden Hazard maybe on the other flank, and they will be surrounding talisman, which is Karim Benzema. So I don't see Gareth Bale featuring at all tonight. I will be very, very surprised if he does.
Let's just look at some of those teams that we are looking forward to watching that have impressed so far. If we look at our next page, Bayern Munich has certainly had the tongues wagging within this particular competition. We don't even talk about what they did in their local Bundesliga. Tell us more.
Well, it's funny because this is the season where they are rebuilding. You might recall that they've been changing coaches. They have another new coach this season. They won Bundesliga. They've been dominant at home, we know. But now they want to win the Champions League. The last time they did it was back in 2013, where they were rampant. But now, in terms of them, the Bavarians, they've scored more goals than any other team, 24 goals at the moment in this season's Champions League. And also, plus 19, that's a record for the Champions League in group stages in terms of the goal difference. So they are a team to beat. At the moment, if the UEFA Champions League was to end today, now, I would say Bayern Munich would be the team to be handed the trophy. But unfortunately, they still need to play. And the game that they are going to play in the round of 16 is against Chelsea. I think they are going to progress to the next round, where they will meet either Barcelona or Napoli.
You've written Chelsea off already. I just on behalf of the Chelsea fans that are watching, they certainly have made strides as far as their play and their the way that they've got to their results are concerned. It's very early days for Frank Lampard as a manager. So there's definitely no room for surprise as far as you're concerned, upsetting Bayern Munich tonight.
Maybe if they had a full-strength squad, Jeff. They don't have their captain Cesar Azpilicueta. They don't have N'Golo Kante. He's doubtful. He has a hamstring injury. They don't have Pulisic. Those are top players. Those are key players as far as Chelsea is concerned. Their spine is very key. A spine is very key in any team to have a strong central defense, a strong midfield, and a strong centre forward in terms of moving forward. That's where you build. But if you are not strong there, then it's difficult to build going forward, to try and win football matches. And hence, I'm saying, I would be very surprised. Yes, they can win, or they might win a tie on the night, but overall, I don't think they are going to win in terms of first leg and second leg. Maybe they might cause an upset and win 1-0 or 2-1, but I don't see them scoring 4 goals. They need 4 clear goals to progress, or at least 3 goals to take the game to extra time.
Okay, now let's look at our next page and look at the top scorers so far this season. And there's obviously one name that stands out, and we spoke about the German team that he plays for. Your thoughts on this man's prowess?
He's a top-class centre-forward. I think it's him alongside the likes of Luis Suarez and Erling Haaland. Erling Haaland, he still needs to prove himself. He's still a youngster, but he's a goal shy. Unfortunately for Haaland, he's no longer going to feature because Dortmund have been knocked out of the competition already. But Lewandowski, there was a talk that he was going to be the Ballon d'Or winner this season. But unfortunately, the Ballon d'Or has been cancelled because, the French company felt that the magazine that is organizing the Ballon d'Or, that it's unfair to organize it this season. Such power that he possessed, that a lot of people were seeing him as a potential Ballon d'Or winner. Who has said that lately? I think it's difficult for players to wrestle away from Lionel Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo. And speaking of which, they have only scored twice each this season. I mean, it says a lot about Lewandowski. He has been prolific. And the past 12 seasons in terms of the Champions League, it's either been Ronaldo or Messi in terms of the top goal scorers award. So, I mean, Lewandowski is a top class finisher. I respect him. So if Bayern Munich are to win the Champions League this season, they will rely heavily on him, as it has already happened in past matches.
So many things to look forward to as far as the UEFA Champions League is concerned. That's our sports producer, eNCA sports producer, Sandile Mchunu, with his thoughts on UEFA Champions League action tonight.